Hello and welcome. My name is Errity Green and this is Wise Women Oracle and Tarot. And today I am bringing you a pick a card reading on your next big thing. So I'm excited to share this with you, and if you find that you like it, enjoy it, that it resonates, I encourage you to like, subscribe, press the bell icon. That way you receive notifications every single time a new reading pops up. I also want to share a fun announcement with you, and that it's my birthday. So December 26th is my birthday. That is when this video will be coming out, the day after Christmas. Of course, this is a timeless reading, but it's my birthday on this particular day of the year as I share this reading. And so I'd love to invite you, if you feel like you have enjoyed this channel, that it's done something for you, that it's landed for you in some way. If for some people, they've messaged me, it's literally changed the course of their lives. If that's the case, if you feel called, if you feel generous, I encourage you to contribute to the channel. You can find the link below. I think it's right beneath the timestamps, where you can contribute to the channel to ensure a whole other year and then some of my being able to share with you and build this community here. If you can't donate, if you can't contribute, if that's just something that's not your thing, you know what? You can like, subscribe, press the bell icon. You can share this channel. There are other ways to contribute to all the contributors and the creators out there who give so generously. I do this and I practice this in my own life as well. It's something that's very important to me. We're all out there consuming so much on the internet, so much people's wisdom, genius, expertise, and we're usually doing it for free. So in all the ways that you are able to contribute to care for the people that care for you, I encourage you to do so. And of course, let yourself also be contributed to and cared for. So my birthday message, that's my birthday message to you, as well as the invitation. Again, you can find the link below if it calls to you, if it feels right for you. And without further delay, I want to thank you for being here, being a part of this community, sharing with me all through the year, or as long as you've been here and a part of this channel. And now I will place a picture up of your 3 card piles to choose from today. Card pile 1, the next big thing. So your next big thing, card pile 1, is all about, it feels like pursuing your heart's desire, but this actually feels like connecting with your innocence, your inner joy, your inner child, and really allowing yourself to sort of flow or flourish or unfold from that place. It feels like sort of letting yourself live true to that state of innocence, right? So we tend to sort of shelve or put our dreams or things on hold, or say, oh, we can't, or this or that, or whatever. But this feels very playful and flowy and innocent, of like, I'm just going to live true to myself in this moment, and this moment, and this moment. I'm going to follow my joy. I'm going to let it be easy. I'm going to let it be fun. I'm going to let it be enjoyable. I'm going to be more lighthearted, right? There's this lighthearted, spirited, joyful, innocent sort of way of being, state of being that is arising now for you, where it's like maybe things aren't so heavy or so hard or taken so seriously or so intense or so overwhelming or over the top or whatever. I just feel like you're becoming more welcoming, more inviting, more accepting of just like letting life happen and like letting it be and letting it unfold and do as it will, because you can't change it anyway, where you're like, all right, well, I guess I'm just gonna swim, right? So it's kind of like when you're in the water and the current's taking you one way, and you can either swim up current, like against the current, make this really hard for yourself, or you can just follow the flow and let it be easy, let it be light, let it be fun. It might even be taking you in a direction that you're kind of unsure of or don't really know, like, because that kind of thing happens in life where we don't really know for sure everything that's to come or what's around the corner. We might have to like move out of the way of a rock, or might find ourselves kind of like dipping down a little waterfall and things like that. But it's not so terrible and it's not so bad. We're not making this big deal out of it, and we're not turning like molehills into mountains and making it all this stuff. It just feels so light, easy, airy-fairy. Just letting life be easy, letting life be fun. I feel like you've reached a level of, we'll say, maturity, to where you realize you can't get emotionally invested in every little thing, or caught up in every little problem, or caught up in every block or molehill or whatever, because that just causes more strife, and it causes more suffering. And you realize that it takes zaps the joy from life. When you just kind of go with the flow like a child does, right? Even when a child's sick, even when a child falls and bumps their knee, even when a child has to be away from their parent, they might cry for a moment, right? They honor their emotions. They feel the way that they feel. They allow themselves to feel that way. They see it through all the way to the end. And then the next thing you know, they're carrying on to the next thing. So it's not like it's being in denial of life or not allowing yourself to have challenges or feel challenged, like in terms of maybe feeling resistant to it or having an emotional response or reaction to it. All of that is good and gravy. And yet, more often than not, you find yourself sort of anchoring into that playful, spirited, lighthearted inner child that's just going with the flow, having fun with it, making the most of it, and just letting it be and letting it be easy, right? So where some kind of energies in the tarot, for example, we'll think of, say, or zodiac even is what I'm thinking of, just, Capricorn, Scorpio, like there's different, like Scorpio can be very intense and magnetic and mysterious and dark, and there's a lot of depth there. And Capricorn can be like all about work and feels like kind of drudgery and just up the mountain, the goat climbing up the mountain, and it's hard and it's effortful and it's intense, right? Like those kinds of energies, it's like those are worthwhile energies. We can use those energies. We'll probably have to use, and life will require those energies at times. And yet you are sort of anchoring into something that's way more like whimsical. That's the word, whimsical. The next big thing is you becoming sort of more whimsical with life, letting it be easy, following the desire, the joy of your own heart, not taking anything too seriously, being a little bit more lighthearted, having a little bit more of a humorous quality to yourself in terms of a greater sense of humor with life, more so chuckling at its nonsensicalness or its nonsense. Or, it's like when you kind of have fun with life and play with life instead of working so hard, when you're willing to play with it and sort of engage with it as opposed to turning from it, being scared of it, trying to avoid it, prevent it, divert it, redirect it, derail from it. It's like, oh my gosh, all the twists and turns and stuff we put ourselves into. We're trying to watch out for this, watch out for that, not that, and let me make sure I have this. Like all the things that we do to try to prepare and get everything together and see something in advance and plan and prepare and anticipate. That's a lot of work, right? There's nothing wrong with that. We might need that energy when we go to take a trip, for example. It's helpful to be a Virgo. But it doesn't mean that we have to live our lives with so much baggage or so much difficulty or challenge. I feel like there's a state of innocence that you are now entering or re-entering for a time that feels really easygoing and feels really enjoyable. And you're just letting yourself enjoy life as it is and letting yourself sort of be in this adventurous state of mind as opposed to anything feeling like dogged determination or challenge after challenge or trial after trial or tribulation or whatever. And it's not necessarily that life changes. It's that you change your orientation. You change your mindset. You're willing to be a little bit more playful and lighthearted. You're letting things be easier. You're holding things more loosely. You're being more lighthearted. What else is here? The next big thing. I feel like you are moving more toward what it is with this change, alongside this change. I feel like you're moving toward your truer vision for your life, your higher calling, your higher vision for your life. You're really stepping into the driver's seat with what you want to create, with what you aspire to achieve, with what you want to do and share and be here. And it feels good. It feels like, right, you're getting whimsical and stepping into a place of allowing your desires, letting it be easy. And right, you're not even taking it too seriously. You're like, what is it am I going to do? And what is my life purpose? And how am I going to get there? It's like not all of that stuff. It's like your desire of the moment. That's it. You're letting it be that. Okay. It doesn't have to be anything. It doesn't have to have like all these extras and all this planned for things and da-da-da. It's like you're letting yourself live by inspiration in the moment. And you are moving toward that calling, that vision. You are sort of stepping into this creatorship, authorship, or whatever. So there is a sense of, there could be a sense of responsibility there, which tends to weigh heavier than, say, whimsy. But I feel like you're doing all this with a lighthearted zest, where again, you're not planting your feet too hard on the ground. It's like you're sort of tiptoeing on rainbows and letting it be easy and letting it be light and letting it be fun. And you're allowing yourself, I feel like, to create in this way as well. There is another message here. What is it? This is a matter of following through on your heart's desires in the moment, letting it be easy, answering your calling, stepping more into what you came here to do and share and be, Let's see what else here. Yeah, you're letting go of all the heavy weight, the baggage, the burdens, the monotony, the drudgery, the upsets, the disappointments. You're just realizing it's all not worth it. It's not worth it. It's like all the ways that you limited yourself or carried weight around, emotional baggage or emotional weight, meaning where it was like you may be thinking of the past or holding on to these things or what someone said or what they didn't say or this person came in, this person came out of your life, or like all the little things that we can hold on to, or like making things hard, or this has to be in place, or this has to happen for this to happen. All that stuff that we do. It's like you're letting go of all of that and you're letting it be way easy. It's like a forgiveness in a way, but it's also just like a simple, easy, doesn't even need to be meditated. You just let it all go. And there it went, right? The energy just leaves. That's not how you're going to operate anymore. Anything that once held you down, held you back, made things really heavy or intense or problematic or challenging or whatever, you're leaving that all behind toward your life's greatest adventure. And I do feel like your inner child is key to this in terms of what it would do, what it would like, where it would like to play, its ultimate playground. What would be your inner child's ultimate playground or adventure? I do feel like because we have innocence and heart's desire and whimsy, and we have adventure, and we have this inner child sort of off to its wonder child, wonderland. It's like you're off to that wonderland and creating that wonderland. And I feel like it is based more in your inspiration in the moment, your desire in the moment, as opposed to, again, where am I going and how's it going to look and developing this vision. It's just a different way of working with your life, working with a vision, where a lot of people might think of a vision, journal on it, then plan for it and write an action plan or something. You're just like, you know what? I kind of know where I want to go, and I'm just going to move in that direction in every single moment. And like, that's it. I'm not going to make it bigger or heavier or more practical or challenging or difficult than it has to be. I'm going to live true to the moment, honor my heart's desires, and move forward toward my wonderland. So card pile 1, that's your next big thing, is this new adventure that you're stepping into that is more, again, pioneered by your heart, supported and guided by your inner child, and ultimately brings you a lot more joy, a lot more play, and a lot more innocence to your life's experience. So card pile 1, if this lands, resonates for you, I encourage you to like, subscribe, press the bell icon. Do keep me posted on your journey, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you, card pile 1. Card pile 2, your next big thing. So right off the bat, it's very clear that you went through a period of incredible change, incredible, maybe even challenge, but it just feels like change, like a lot of things shifted. There could have been losses. It's like the tower, the tower moment, or the tower in the tarot, where things that, weren't ultimately true for you or going to last or whatever fell. And it looks like you went through a time of deep healing and reflection, but it could have felt like deep depression. It could have felt like a dark night of the soul. It could have felt like more hermit energy in the tarot, where you turned more into yourself and took the time you needed to patch things up, to lick your wounds and really discover your way forward from there. So that's where you were, right? The tower fell, a lot of dramatic changes. Your life was probably unrecognizable. You were probably unrecognizable. You probably didn't even know what to do with it or how to reconcile it, how to clean up that mess or put the pieces back together. You ended up in a time of probably some immense grieving, mourning, depression. I sense someone who's alone and crying, and just, these sort of after effects or residual effects of the Ten of Swords, where it's a challenging time and you're feeling alone and lonely, and you're really having to be with yourself and your grief and navigate through it. And then also eventually, ultimately, discover those next steps, those next breadcrumbs to where you want to go from here. And that's what I'm saying is your next big thing. So your next big thing is the next chapter after all of that. I feel like you're coming out of that. It's like the groundhog coming up and out of the hole. The hole he's burrowed in the ground, and it's like he's peeping up and coming out and re-entering the world again. And so I feel like that's the case for you, where you are ready to re-engage with life. You're ready to participate in life again. You're ready to see people, spend time with people, enjoy people. You're ready to make new connections, build new connections, bolster and affirm old connections, nurture new connections. I just feel more celebration and more togetherness and more coming together, and holidays and a social life, and just, those kinds of energies, where before it was more isolated, dark, introspective, reflective, mourning, grief, we'll get to the other part of like just navigating those inner challenges. But now you're ready to dance again. You know, it's that song by J-Lo. I wanna dance and love and dance again. Something like that. I'm doing terribly and I don't know exactly the lyrics, but I would look it up, and it's like that vibe of ooh. Go listen to the song, because she's talking about kind of coming out of a period like we're talking about, and she's ready to dance again. And that's, I feel like, where you're at. Card pile 2 is after this difficulty, after this loss, after licking your wounds for a time and kind of figuring out your way forward, you're ready to move forward. You know, you're moving forward. Yeah, your next big thing is now moving forward. You've done it. You know, dirt off your shoulder. You made it to the other side. It might have been difficult. It might have been challenging, but this taught you everything you needed to know about yourself. It taught you more about the depths of yourself and the human psyche and the human spirit than you probably ever would have imagined you would have known. You have come out so much wiser, so much stronger, so much deeper, so much more aware and authentic and true to you. You have come out very well-rounded, very whole, very connected, and you're ready to dance with life again. I feel like that time in the, what's the word? It's like solitary confinement, you know, I'm moving my legs here if you hear any noises, but it's like that time in solitary kind of gave you everything you needed. It's like, you know, solitary confinement's pretty difficult. Am I wrong? Am I right? And none of us have actually really done that. Some of you who are watching may have had an experience in true solitary confinement, but people talk about it being horrific, sort of like being buried alive, where you're facing literally all of your demons. You are in that situation, truly, you know, right in that line of life or death. Maybe feeling like you're having to catch your breath. You're facing your anxiety, your fears, your life flashing before your eyes. Everything that you did wrong, everything that you did right, everything that you miss, everything that you love about the people that you love, everything that you want to have again, everything that you effed up with or effed up on. You know, all that stuff just starts coming up, and you're like, facing all of your demons, like the Buddha under the tree, right? I mean, we've heard this story. If you haven't, look it up, Buddha under the tree, where he finds enlightenment after he faces every single demon, right, within him, ultimately. Because the demons he was facing weren't just some external random demon. They were all his own stuff, right? And so after that time in solitary, where you will go head to head with every monster imaginable, it's like you've come out, again, a little bit smarter, a little bit wiser, a little bit more fierce, a little bit more aware, but not just like a warrior. It's not just about that. It doesn't even feel like that kind of energy of just like, you know, fierceness. Yes, there's a strength and a wisdom to it, but it also feels very connected, very whole, very knowing, very humble even. So it's a beautiful energy, and that solitary confinement taught you so much about yourself, about, again, the human psyche, about suffering. And I feel like you have a great awareness of suffering now that you didn't have before, and therefore also a great or even greater compassion than maybe you once did for that level of suffering. And I feel like that can help you or support you to be of service to your fellow humanity, whether you do something with that or that not. It's not showing necessarily in the cards that that's happening right now or your next big thing, but it very well may be that you have immense compassion now, or a greater understanding, if nothing else, of suffering that you didn't have before, as well as, you know, how to sort of navigate your way through it where maybe you didn't before. You know, you can't really know how to sail a ship or survive the wilderness until you do it. And now that you've done it, you have a little bit more of a skill set and know-how, and it's ultimately something that you can share with others, and likely will in some shape or form in the future. You're also able to see truth for what it is, truth from inner demon, because of your time in solitary confinement. Yeah, right, we're putting that in quotes because you weren't necessarily in that. You could have just been like the hermit, isolated, depressed. It's like you can see truth from lie, fact from fiction, illusion, delusion from truth. It's given you a great discernment here. So don't take that for granted, what you have learned here. And the next big thing I feel like is really just kind of coming back to life again. But I feel like it's just like tending to yourself, nurturing yourself, supporting yourself, taking care of yourself, learning how to sit back, relax, take it easy. It's like, let's just say someone was in prison, you know, someone did go in solitary confinement for a year, for 2, for 3, I don't know, 5. And now you're finally out of this, on the other side of it. And you're kind of enjoying life a little bit. You're taking it easy. You're not rushing to go, you know, get a really fast, quick paced, hardworking job. You're not rushing to like go, do all these things or like become these big things or hit these big milestones. It's like, shoot, I'm taking it easy. I'm enjoying my life. I'm replenishing myself. I am bringing myself back to life. I'm supporting myself in all the ways that I need or deserve, especially after, a long, difficult or strenuous, challenging time. I don't feel much of that energy at all. It very much feels past energy. So I feel like you're either transitioned or transitioning into this more. But I feel like you're sitting back, relaxing and enjoying the ride. It's more so of that energy now and allowing yourself to be really taken care of, loved, cared for, replenished. More so than like out there manifesting and or in that deep suffering period. I feel like you've come out of this in need of some TLC. That's a great way to say it. In need of some TLC. And so that's how you're living your life. TLCing yourself, connecting with others and just being in a space where you can just care for and honor and love yourself, but also be able to enter into that kind of reciprocal or mutual exchange with others where you can both give each other that TLC. What else is here? Yeah. Rest, be held, laziness. Like if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, right? Those are some key words there. Just leaning back, resting, taking it easy, letting yourself be taken care of, just enjoying this time in your life right now where things are easier than they were. You're no longer in that state of deep or immense or intense suffering, but you're not quite in that state of like, I'm on top of the world and like, let's do it. Woo! It's like, okay, you're more of that in that in-between phase. Not in between in that it feels like you're in between worlds either. You're very much on the other side of this, but you're choosing to first kind of patch things up and take care of yourself and kind of get the basics and fundamentals in order before you go out there and, I don't know, brave a whole new world. Sort of like someone who comes from prison or solitary confinement. They're going to go to a halfway house or maybe someone like that first, where they can get the basics in order, get a routine down, get a simple job, start making new connections and friends that are healthier, et cetera, before they're like, all right, I'm going for the biggest corporate success ever. It's like, okay, well, let's start with ourselves. Let's get the basics in order. So I feel like that's where you're at, back to the basics, the fundamentals of taking care of yourself, TLC, and just letting yourself enjoy life and letting it be easy. So card pile 2, that is your reading. If this lands or resonates for you, I encourage you to like, subscribe, do press the bell icon. That way you receive notifications every single time a reading pops up. And I look forward to seeing you the next time around. Thank you, card pile 2. Card pile 3. So the next big thing, I feel like a vision has landed, baby. A vision has dropped. You are now more aware, at least peripherally, like in terms of you have an idea, a feeling, a sense, a knowing, even if it's not 100% clear, even if you don't know all the details, even if you haven't ironed out all the details, the vision has landed. What it is that you want, what it is that you dream of, what it is that you aspire to create or achieve or experience, I feel like that has dropped and you are becoming more aware of it than ever before. So I feel like the next big thing is going to have to be with you experiencing this vision one way or another. I feel it could be like working toward it, right? Or building it. I don't feel that energy of like movement yet. I just feel like the vision has landed and you are much more clear probably than ever before on what it is that you are meant to create. I do feel like this is a big vision, a big sort of, doesn't feel like mission. It doesn't feel linear of work. It feels like a vision. And it feels very big, sort of like empire big, planet big, of what you're supposed to do here, what you're supposed to be here, how you're supposed to serve here, what you're supposed to contribute here. I feel like this could have something to do with either your soul's mission or plan for yourself. Some of you, this isn't going to be all of you because this doesn't feel like a big sort of pressing energy here. It feels very faint, but some of you might connect with being a starseed and coming here to help create a new earth or new experience more similar to your home planet where you come from as a star being, that feels closer to say, the Pleiades or Arcturus or Lemuria or Atlantis, sort of like that heaven on earth feel where, like that is more of, your service, your contribution is to help create that. I feel like there might be some challenges sometimes for you or with you in terms of confusion where you can't quite grasp or understand the details or you're not able to see it clearly. It's like the vision has dropped and maybe your mind jumps in or steps in and makes things very confusing. Sort of feels like the schizoid energy where things just start to get where you're not able to get 100% clarity. I feel like this is your ego getting in the way or your mind trying to make sense of it or your mind trying to to find a way to make sense of it or gain clarity on it or whatever, or make it digestible. And it's like, it's so big and so sort of unclear. It's clear, but right, it's unclear because you don't know how it all adds up. You don't know the minutia or the detail or every single task required. And I feel like when your mind tries to hold on to it and make sense of it and make it something understandable or digestible, it gets you really confused and leaves you in a place of sort of helplessness, i.e. like confusion, or just even forget it. And it's like, you know, please know that that's not the ultimate truth. That's just your mind coming in and trying to make sense of something that either you don't understand or can't see clearly in its full potency. And it's like not expecting yourself to know, not expecting yourself to have certainty or have every detail ironed out. I feel like the vision has landed. You have a gut sense feeling of it, what it's supposed to feel like, and an idea of what it's supposed to look like or what it's meant to be. I will ask what maybe your next step is if it doesn't come through, because if you don't have that, then what can you do? But I feel like it is a bigger thing. So if you start focusing on the small things, it might get more confusing for you. Just focusing on the vision and asking yourself maybe even, how can I bolster this vision? How can I support this vision? How can I begin to affirm this vision in my own life? How can I begin to build this vision in my own life, right? There's something there about bringing it down, grounding the vision, but through your own inner experience or your own life or individual experience, as opposed to trying to like go out there and do something, if that makes sense. That way, like the vision can land completely in you, and then you're able to then convey it or share it or do whatever with it from there. I feel like you are going to find greater clarity when you can learn to sort of silence the noise, whether that's meditation or contemplation. Obviously, when you start meditating, well, usually it feels really good in the beginning, and then all your stuff starts to come up, and then it gets a little bit more difficult. Meaning, so you're at first, when you go to meditate, you might not be getting the clarity that you're seeking. You know, don't think that you're doing it wrong, or that there's something wrong, or that there's a problem. I mean, that's kind of the air being cleared out, right? That's what you want to happen. You want all that stuff to come up and out, and let it all come up and out, right? Just watch it come up and out, up and out, up and out, not giving it too much attention, just noticing it, tracking it. And eventually you find some space underneath there. And the more you can practice this, the more you're going to find that space and that spaciousness required to fully let this vision come in and secure itself and take root within you. Of course, that's also when you'll gain more clarity and awareness around this. But it is going to require you to create some space, especially in your mental realm, especially not going at it again with like questions or how is it going to look or what is it going to be? Because I feel like that just adds to and makes it more of a concrete block, where then it's even more difficult to discern. Right, this is going to be more about just creating that space for meditation, for everything to come up and out. And you guys in card pile 3 aren't in a scenario or position. If you are, you might get support, or I would start elsewhere or check one of the other piles or maybe another reading, because I feel like all of you are in a place where you can meditate and it's not going to be like a traumatization for you, right? If you've been through recent trauma or are an active PTSD or something, meditation is usually fairly difficult. If you're there, this might not be your next step. All of that said, the meditation is going to help sort of clear the air, right? Air out the dirty laundry, so to speak, so you can actually feel, sense, experience, know whatever clearly, and the vision can fully drop or land. Yeah, really, your vision is all about birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. This is much bigger probably than you can wrap your head around, which is why it feels difficult and strained for you to gather any particular detail or form as to what it looks like, or what it's going to be or what you're supposed to do. But it's like the more you can focus on birthing a new world, right, and keeping it very big, meaning broad and universal and visionary, the easier it's going to be for you to attend to and nurture and affirm and bring to life, because it feels like it's something that's just going to naturally sort of take place within you and unfold and be birthed by you, more so than something you have to work at, right? Or do, or make happen, or force into existence. It's just naturally going to unfold, right? I feel like the challenge too is that a part of you has suppressed this desire or this vision in fear that it won't happen, or belief that it would be taken from you, or because if you lost things in the past, and in order to allow it, you'd have to face the risk of losing it, or the pain, or the grief of the loss or the potential loss. So I feel like there was some kind of repression, suppression for a time, and it's now starting to sort of rear its head and rejoin you and reconcile with you again. So again, the more you can create space for this, whether that's journaling, ritual, ceremony, meditation, mentorship, someone holding space for you so you can really allow this to come forward in a way where you aren't sort of injecting yourself or intruding or being invasive with yourself, to where, again, when you engage your mind like that and start inquiring about things, you start getting more mucked up and confused and create more of a block. You really want to have that support to just open up that space and see what arises without your particular investment or attachment into it. This is a long-standing desire, something that is so important to you and true to you, something that you were born with, a seed that was planted long, long ago, even long before you were born. It's inevitable. It's something you can't not do. It's something that you like. It's not something that's like going to feel like work or that you have to do. I mean, it feels like a duty, sort of. I mean, like maybe even a vow. It feels like this is a part of your destiny, we'll say. And yet, it's something that, again, it's a seed that was planted long, long ago. It's not something that it's like automatically going to come, right? Very organically. Not something you have to force. But the more you can focus on birthing a new age, heaven on earth, Lemuria, these bigger, larger visions, and creating space, the easier it's going to be for all of this to unfold in a natural, gentle, effective way. Yeah, how are you being called to step up and lead? Because here's the thing. This very well probably has to do with some kind of position or role of leadership. It doesn't have to, but I do feel, again, it was something big, large, like an empire, collective, global, something relatively large, which would imply responsibility, which also implies leadership. So I feel like you're stepping into sort of your high self at this point, your true self. You're stepping into that next wave of potential. You've done a lot of clearing work and moved through a lot of stuff and over the past several years. And a lot of it has been preparing you for this. Like, it's been clearing everything out of the way so that you could be here, so that you could do this work, so you could be someone who could hold this vision, this level, depth, breadth, width of this kind of vision. You had to be someone who could hold it, carry it, see it through, be a facilitator of it for it to actually unfold or manifest or materialize. So that's the work that's been being done. You've been being prepared for this role all that time so you could stand here and do this now and step into this role of leadership to sort of be the vessel for this vision to come to life or to come true or come into being. I do feel like your biggest enemy is yourself. You get in your own way, and then it makes it very difficult for you to see this, or for you to feel this way, or for you to bring forth what you desire to bring forth, or what wants to come through you even. Part of this is not necessarily letting yourself get in the driver's seat too much. This is spirit talking with you. This is more of a spiritual thing. This is something that's more destined, fated, determined, something that is ordained divinely so and orchestrated. The less you can put your hands in the pot or try to control it, manipulate it, force it, make it yours, make it your own, make it about you, make it about how you want to see it, what you want to do, how you want it to work, what details you need to know. Shelve that and get into a space of more spirit. What would you have me do? Or how can I be a vessel or a vehicle for this vision today? Or what desires to give birth from me today? How can I be a vessel or a space holder for this to arise? Not even that you have to ask those questions. Even that might be quote unquote extra. It's really letting God take the wheel, letting Jesus take the wheel, as they say, or as Carrie Underwood says. This is more spirit moving you and moving through you than it is you doing it. So the more that you try to get in your way, you're going to be getting in your own way. The more that you try to do it, manipulate it, force it, understand it, know it, the more you're going to get yourself all cluster effed up in here. And it's going to be very difficult for things to move. You're sort of going to be blocking it. So this is about you getting out of your own way. Your next big thing is this vision, this dream, this destiny that is taking hold, that is rooting right now, that is starting to unfold or unfolding as we speak, that is well underway, that you probably have some keen sense of it now, even now, and maybe again, get yourself sort of in these mental gymnastics about it, of what do you do, et cetera, et cetera. This is much more about leaning back and letting it be moved through you and letting these things happen through you, but not something that you have to force, lead, initiate, et cetera. The more you can sort of step back, lean back, be more in a listening position and more of a willingness position, and available position and spacious position, creating more space so that what wants to come through you can come through you, the better off you are at allowing this destiny to continue to unfold, especially at an organic, natural pace that isn't held up every 5 minutes by your ego jumping in to have it say and to understand it or to know the details. The more you can get out of your own way, create more space, allow yourself to experience desire and follow that inspiration of the moment, or again, because we want to create space for those at one time suppressed, repressed desires. We want to open that up, of course. Meditation too, that's going to support you as well, like we talked about, and this vision, this destiny can land. So your next big thing, card pile 3, is your destiny. It's coming through, and it's coming in hot, and it's coming through you as long as you can sort of get out of your own way and stand by and let spirit take the wheel while you act as a vehicle or vessel for this to come through. So card pile 3, that is your reading. If this lands, resonates, do like, subscribe, press the bell icon. I'd love to hear your stories in the comments. And I look forward to seeing you next time, card pile 3. Do take care.